Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Middle-Aged Mutants Show Live. We are broadcasting to you telepathically from the planet LV-426 within Hadley's Hope. And if it, as with all telepathy, did I say we were doing it telepathically? It's been so long since we've done this. As with all telepathy, emotional transference is unavoidable. So if any time during this broadcast you feel as if you're being smothered, cloaked in darkness, and your mouth and your throat are kind of being sexually violated, don't worry, that's just no H. No H. Cut it out. We've talked about this.
No H mostly comes out at night. Mostly.
Which is actually not
My
true.
name is Ty, and I'll be your host for this evening. As always, I'm joined by the Brotherhood of Mostly Benevolent Mutants, Bodz and No H. Gentlemen, starting with Bodz. How the hell are you, sir?
I'm good. I am good. I did not get infected by any kind of face hugging, violating.
Not infected. It's impregnated. You didn't get impregnated.
Well, I did get impregnated. You didn't. Oh.
Oh, well.
So, I mean,
you heard it here, people.
Thanks for ruining the surprise.
I know, Bodz. You need to wear some chest armor or sleep on your stomach for quite a while.
Yeah.
You know, when I was a kid, I really thought, because I'd watched that movie when I was super, super young, and I noticed that it came out of the chest, so I was like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to lay on my stomach each night, and they can't pop out of me because they'll just bang up against the thing.
They just go through the other way.
And then I'm just wondering why little tiny Ty was watching Aliens.
I remember watching movies like that when I was very young, and they were super way scarier when you're younger. And nowadays, it seems silly, of course, but Terminator 2 gave me the creeps back in the day.
So fun fact, two fun facts. A mutual friend of me and Ty's growing up, I went with him to go see Aliens 3. It was the first rated R movie I went to go see. I literally had my hands over my eyes because I didn't know in the theater. I didn't know. I've always watched stuff on TV, and I was like, well, they're going to cut all the bad stuff about theater. I was like, anything can happen. So I didn't know. And then it's funny you brought up Terminator 2. I showed that to my 9-year-old daughter the other day, and it was on TV. But there were still some parts I was like, okay, close your eyes because this guy's about to get a sword through the mouth in a milk carton here. But, man, movie still holds up. Terminator 2.
Yeah, and as much as I love Predator, the first one, it's creepy if you watch it as a smaller kid, you know?
Yeah. I had to go to a friend's house growing up, and we had a big family thing going on, and we rented a VCR and the Terminator or Predator movie, and I got freaked out immediately. And the poor kid that I was with, we had to go play checkers in his room the entire time the adults watched the movie. He seemed so pissed.
He's never seen.
You're not coming over to my house again ever.
Yeah. So.
And he's still never seen Predator. He has
never seen Predator.
Yeah.
Even know. Thanks to me.
That was his only chance.
Thanks to me.
Bodz.
If you didn't catch the middle-aged part of the title of this show, Bodz said, rent a VCR.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rented a VCR. That's what you had to do back in the day. It could have been worse. I could have said rented a Betamax or,
we had a Betamax, dude. I remember having conversations with my mom as a kid going, Mom, just put this in the VCR. Son, that is a Betamax tape. It will not work in the VCR. We chose right. Your grandma chose wrong. Okay, let's watch that right now. So, No H, how the hell are you, sir? Before we forget to ask you.
Well, it's funny you say no, it just mostly come out at night, which is actually untrue. Longtime listeners of this program will know. No, it's very sleepy early.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, he likes to drink a lot of wine when he goes home. He comes home and immediately. He doesn't even drink beer. He's more like a wine mom. He just goes right to the wine.
What's funny is I don't hit the sauce that often now because I don't know. I don't know, Bodz, if it was ever. I know, Bodz, I've never known you to be a heavy drinker anyway, but. I guess I was never super alcoholic or anything like that. But after you have a child, it's sort of to me, this may speak to the middle-aged people in the audience, but to me anyway, my experience with it is if I can't properly sleep off Not even like a hangover. But if I'm not able to have my pure, and this is after like maybe 1 or 2, it doesn't matter. Like if I can't properly sleep it off, I'm just like it's just not worth it.
Yeah,
And
the
so
kid's
sleep
not
is
going to
very
let you.
important. No, and it's just sleep.
Oh
is
no.
very important, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
But we're gonna
Yeah,
stay up
well.
late and do this tonight.
Tonight. Okay. For everybody who has been watching the show since the beginning, really, I don't think there is a one person. I think the first episode we got hardly any views. It's still to this day is like I think it's like 35 views. We started doing this show over a year ago. February 23rd, 2023 was the first episode of the Middle-Aged Mutant Show, and I got the guys to start the show because we had like a private text thread. We have a thread with all of our other friends, but we had a private text thread with us where we just talked about comics, and some of the stuff we said there was so fun and so funny that I just wanted to make that, I wanted to share it with the world, and that's why we started doing this show. So everybody, we're going to just give a round of applause for the Middle-Aged Mutants lasting a whole year.
Thank you.
I'm just not going to let that play all the way through because good God almighty. Anyways, but it's really bad because we should have had, like, to be honest, if we would have been like hardcore about this, I think we should have had 52 episodes. This would have been our 53rd episode by now. So
well, let's just act like it was, and like we did.
Nice guys, we made it 50.
We did it, guys.
Well,
53 episodes, and it's leap year today, so we had to do an extra one.
Day,
so,
and
but
I'm sure we'll get to it. But it is Superman's birthday.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we're making a special event out of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Superman!
For Superman.
I think it's kind of like so. Has anybody calculated how old Superman truly is? If his birthday is,
if his character is, he's 11 years old. If his character's,
it kind of depends.
In his 40s,
because it's like 1938, right? We're talking, but that's not the year he was born. That's the year he was like 20-something years old.
And honestly, I don't know how long his rocket was traveling. Like, if he had some type of interstellar, like, weird time dilation deal where, he's traveling through space and stuff like that. So, it gets kind of
well, if he's like what 80? He's 80 years old, like in comics. So like truly, he's only that make him like 20, right? So he had a birthday every 4 years, so he's only 20.
If you're going from like Action Comics #1 to like now, I guess. But
he looks great for 20. I mean, really great for 20.
And what's funny is, at least at one time, and there's several versions of the canon, but at least at one time, I believe, Superman Kal-El considered his birthday to be February 29th, and for no other reason. It was just like a quirky sci-fi-esque weird thing about Superman.
Leap year, and he was leaping over tall buildings in a single bounce. So
and
it worked.
And also, but I believe at one time Clark Kent.
Whoa! I think you're a Cylon or a Terminator.
Brainiac.
Whoa! But he could at least one time Clark Kent considered his birthday to be June 18th, and now I believe the black version of Superman considers his birthday to be June 19th. Which is Juneteenth. So I think I don't know if that's canonically correct or not. We'll have to wait. Maybe the new Superman movie will.
I mean, if Jeremy was here, we could totally clear this up now.
He would know.
Walking encyclopedia.
He's the Superman encyclopedia. So we would have just asked him. Got this knocked on the head right now. But speaking of Superman, let's move into the first topic. Superman Legacy has a new name. It's not called Superman Legacy anymore. It's called just plain old. Whoops. Good Lord. Why did I do that? It's been a while since I've done this, folks. Sorry. Here we go. Boom. Share. Okay. It's now just called Superman. Plain old Superman. And here is the logo. And now no H. Go.
Okay. So I love Kingdom Come. I was obsessed with it when it came out back in the day. As far as the S shield, the actual symbol he's going to be wearing, right, on his costume, on his textured costume. Yet again, with this live-action superhero movie, it's got to be some weird textured pattern.
His Kryptonian mother weaved it for him, so there's a weave pattern.
It could have been Ma Kent, Martha. He could have been doing all this business, but yeah, so as much as I love Kingdom Come, it's been revisited a lot, and I'm a little tired of it, especially because there was like I don't well, there's been comic runs where it'll come up. I'm like, oh, here we go. We're going to the Kingdom Come world yet again. Okay.
And they're doing it right now, currently in World's Finest.
Right. And it's just like, all right. I like stop. It's like their mission to make me like this thing less, this thing that I was really a big fan of. And I don't know, like this is coming from me where similar to Batman, I love me some unflavored regular ass Superman and Batman. So I really don't like deviations. And I try to keep in mind that what I prefer to me, what is my traditional classic versions, which is just like the normal, Superman's logo you see on everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
I try to keep in mind that, there's been a million different versions of this S symbol. It's not even the very, very first version, right? Each movie, even the original Christopher Reeve movie, had like a slight tweak to it. And I'm just thinking, I'm sort of like, I acknowledge that I like the version that I'm, familiar with and have nostalgia for. And I think things should just stay that way. But the things I like were at the time, or at least at one time, were newer versions. And if people didn't make new versions, none of these things would ever happen. I understand that. I don't care. I like the kind that I like. You know what I mean? It's fun. And so
does this count as old man yelling at the cloud? Is this what?
Very much so. This is very much old man.
I don't know if I was gonna. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to. No, he's yelling at the clouds. I don't know because y'all are always telling me I do that.
But no, this is 100%.
I'm just wondering. Me. I'm wondering if No H would be okay if that symbol was on the back of the cape.
You know what? If it's yellow and it's on the back of the cape, I'll let a lot of stuff fly, if you will.
Okay, no,
but,
I know that's one of his big pet peeves.
I mean, just brace yourself for this. It's gonna blow your mind. What if it was rainbow colored and Superman had an emo haircut and tits?
It would be a movie about John Kent, the news, I guess. But and I'm just like, there's nothing wrong. And here's the thing with these movies: you get excited. Oh, they're finally going to do it right this time. They're making a new version. Well, yes, they did something to get excited about, but anytime they make a new version of something, they're going to want to make it different than the last one, right? So that means they're going to, distance themselves, and they're like, and I guess we can at least say, hey, at least this symbol is a comic thing. I suppose.
Can we like speculate that maybe that this is a long-term plan that
maybe
we start out like this and then we end up in Kingdom Come territory, perhaps?
I mean, it's maybe, I think Kingdom Come's been done a lot, but at least it's something good and something that a lot of people, including myself, like. Now, the one really positive thing I'll say about this, and I've said this before in previous episodes where I'm like, I really don't want to be one of the nerds who just find reasons to hate this movie, which we know still very little about, right? Mm-hmm. I just every day it's this constant inner nerd rage struggle. I'm like, don't hate this movie because of like what you think you know. But one really positive thing about this is I love the title. I was never crazy about Legacy, but if it made sense for the story, I guess. But I love that it's just called Superman. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the first actual like big feature film that's just called Superman. Because I think the original was called Superman, it was like movie, right?
Movie, yeah, mm-hmm. Man. Yeah. That was like the late 70s. So they used to do that for everything. It's like Star Trek, the movie.
The movie.
They had to let you know.
But I don't even think they called it the movie. I think they called it Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Oh, you're right.
You're right.
And I think it was Superman the movie, and then it was Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
But they have to let you know back then that you were watching a movie. You're like,
because
I walked into a theater and I thought I was watching a TV show.
What a weird TV episode.
What's going on?
I'm going back to the counter.
This is like the weirdest talkie I've ever seen.
Yeah. But Yeah, I mean, shit. I'm gonna give Gunn a chance. I don't know if he can do it, but I did like for the most part, I like those Guardians of the Galaxy movies. So hopefully he
Yeah.
does a good job on this. I mean, the thing that I have a problem with most of the stuff that's been done with DC is that they kind of like they do this. What is it? A poo-poo platter or whatever, or where they pick and choose the shit that they like from each one of the comics. They don't really go in any kind of sequence. They just pull like iconic scenes, and this is not just DC. This was Marvel too. If you watch Daredevil, they were just pulling shit that they liked from, and so the comics that they are directly related to, you can never do that storyline because they've already pulled the really cool scenes. Like for example, when you're watching the very awful Batman v Superman, whenever he's like, my mom's name is Martha, my mom's name is Martha, and then he goes and saves Martha,
Right.
and then he does the whole like I believe you thing. That's one of the coolest scenes in the Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
Now, if you go to do that in the Dark Knight Returns, that's going to seem weird that it was done twice.
Yeah.
So
that was literally the best part of that movie.
I know that movie.
That warehouse scene.
That was a bad movie, dude. That
was a good part.
Yeah, that was a good part. That was a bad movie. Scene. Yeah, but that's what I hope doesn't happen here. I hope I hope it's very much planned and that they don't just go, let's pull this cool scene and pull this cool scene and then like mash them together into one movie and you're like, well, you can't do it. Yeah, you can't do that storyline anymore.
I would like a really good Dark Knight Returns movie. I would like that, but
it kind of depends what you want from a like an adaptation. Like to me, I think I'm not even saying that this is what I want to see necessarily. I guess it would depend, but
what do you want to see?
I want to see TNA. That's what I want to see. But I think like if you really wanted to do like a true adaptation of like one comic book story, not even a crossover, just one story, I'm like, well, if it came out and let's say it's fairly recent, let's say it came out in 2013, well, everything has to be 2013. It's like the new iPhones aren't out yet or something. It's like it's kind of like a pain to unless, and then like let's say it was one of the more classic ones. It was like a 60s era. I'm like from that issue to the first issue of the story to the last issue of the story. Then that's the adaptation. Then you run into the remake of Psycho with Vince Vaughn territory, where it's like shot for shot the same thing, and it's like on the one hand, it's a little different because I'm messing with my AirPods, so excuse me if that sounds ridiculous. But
sure, your AirPods.
Yeah, okay, pal. Okay, so it's like I think it's a little different from like a movie remake because honestly, as comic book fans, we just want to see the darn thing come to life. We don't want changes. For the most part, we don't want changes, and we like
unless it's like what Alan Moore's The Watchmen, and they go, you know what's stupid in this movie? That fucking octopus. And flip him right out.
Yeah, that was the one part in the actual graphic novel that I was like, that's kind of dumb.
Like,
and they changed it for the better for the movie.
I'm like, way to go, Snyder. That's back when like, oh, okay, cool, So go ahead and make these types of movies, but. And I said it before, comics are not scripture. Some things are just stupid.
We've had this conversation several times with you. Yeah, comics are scripture. Until you get that straight, they're always going to win.
It's called Kingdom Come, and what do you think that's supposed to mean, man? I mean, come on.
Well, I remember you being a fan of Kingdom Come because I remember you let me borrow the actual trade for that. So
his semen stained trade, the page stuck together trade.
Once you peeled the pages, it was fine.
It didn't make a lot of sense because I was just had to skip around, but it was good. It was good though.
Like what happened?
Kingdom Come is good. Aside from Mark Waid being the writer of it, it was pretty good. There was some preachy shit in it where I was like, oh, Mark Waid, like the part where they're like fighting on the Statue of Liberty. That scene still to this day, I'm like, oh, you know what? Fuck you, Mark Waid. I don't like you. At the same time, I can read some of your stuff and go, yeah, I like it. But then other times, I'm like, you suck. I really hate you. When he's not being Mark Waid, he's doing all right. But when he's being Mark Waid, I just want to step on his neck. But
I didn't realize he's been around that long.
He's been around forever.
Oh God, he's old as the hills.
Yeah.
He should retire. But moving on to the next topic, this is one that's going to tickle Bod's fancy. Deadpool Wolverine trailer. Let's get this party started, folks. Here we go. Happy birthday to you.
All right, okay.
Let's turn down a little bit.
It's been a challenging few years, for sure. But I'm happy. That is because of each and every one of you. I'm the luckiest man alive.
Make a wish, buddy.
Wait, Wilson? Who's asking? Whoa, 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 whoa. Is that supposed to be scary? Pegging isn't new for me, friendo, but it is for Disney.
Did y'all know that they have two versions of this particular scene?
Really?
There's one, he says this in one, and then he said, and then the other one he says, an R rating is not new for me, but it is for Disney. And he looks at the camera. So I honestly don't know. I thought about this for just a split second that they were thinking ahead of time here, where they said, okay, instead of having to cut the movie like we did with Deadpool 2 for like the PG-13, it PG-13? Instead of cutting it, I think they're thinking ahead. You're probably gonna get two just very, very slightly different films, and they can do that again.
That's cool. I actually really liked the PG-13 version. That was
actually not bad, but that's what I'm thinking they're doing here. And then another thing I want to talk about before we stray too far from it, the scene where he said it'd been a tough year. Now I'm wondering, does that mean, because wasn't she pregnant?
No, don't think
I
so.
thought in the last movie that she had gotten pregnant.
No, she got killed last movie.
Oh man, I don't.
And he traveled back in time. Like at the very end, he gets Cable's time thing.
Or was it that they were just talking about getting pregnant? I don't remember.
Maybe they were just talking.
Maybe just talking, but like she dies at the beginning of the movie. Remember that it plays.
Yeah, I remember that she died, but I thought they were talking about having a baby or something. So I just was curious. I was going to ask that question because Bodz is the Deadpool movie guy. So here we go.
Mr. Wilson, you appear to have soiled yourself while unconscious.
I wasn't unconscious. Who are you? Why am I here?
Walk with me.
So I think I need to watch Loki season 2 to kind of figure out.
Wait.
Yeah. Well, good luck. Good luck with that.
Did you watch Loki season 2?
Well, no, you don't have to watch Loki season 2. You'll have to watch Loki season 1 to know what is it?
No.
The TVA.
I watched season 1.
TVA.
I haven't seen season 2 yet.
Well, I won't spoil much of Loki season 2, which I have strong opinions about, but
I'm going to say that we're going to talk about Loki season, like Loki in general, before this movie. So we will have an episode of where we do that. If I can just stop sleeping through the first season, because oh my God, I keep falling asleep during that first season.
Wow.
So we will get there. But go ahead, Noe.
I will say, without like spoiling much of anything, just seeing the TVA's presence in this movie just makes it confusing as to when this takes place or where it takes place in the multiverse of things. So,
well, isn't the TVA kind of eternal? Like, that's what I kind of got, that they'd always been around.
Presented in the first season as like this, we exist outside of time type of people, and they can access all these different time streams and everything's, and just with the way even season 1 ended, it's just like, okay, what exactly is happening here with the is this that TVA? Is it like a different TVA? I guess we'll have to watch the movie to find out.
Is this the Fox version of the TVA?
It's just like, maybe it's Sony's TVA just lost.
We all know John doesn't want TVA. He wants TNA.
I want TNA.
TNA. Oh, yeah. Get it right, people. All right, let's keep going.
This is your chance to be a hero among heroes.
I smell what you're stepping in, Sensei. Your little cinematic universe.
Okay, now that
Cassandra Nova.
Cassandra Nova, yeah, that we know that as of today, or was it yesterday? I think it was actually today-ish.
I think it was confirmed today or whatever. But
So
Yeah.
I'm sure Ryan Reynolds is super pissed right now, but and the rumors that this might right here this patch might end up being
Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, does that just
Yeah.
like burn your ass, Bodz? I swear to God, I would be pissed if I were you.
Just let him be Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
I'm the Messiah. I am Marvel Jesus.
Guy does smack his ass a lot right there. And the guy dressed it.
I can do that.
Now, a lot of people were speculating that this guy right here was Doctor Doom, and I'm like, God, I hope not.
Yeah, I
really
heard the
hope
same
not.
thing.
I think it's just a guy in a hood.
Yeah,
I just think it's a guy in the hood as well. I really hope it's not Doctor Doom. I will be super pissed. But this over here, this looks like a piece of the Shield helicarrier on the left side of the screen.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't know where they are technically here.
I love this part.
Pyro.
And we got a Pyro.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
Pyro. He's back.
That's a cool.
Yeah. Fell against the 20th Century Fox logo. There's Wolverine. It's like you could show him.
Don't just stand
We've
there.
seen him.
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much.
That's awesome. So I read
It's gonna be
today
it's gonna be a tight July too, because it's not just this is coming out in July, or no, sorry, it's 2025. So Superman we've gathered is the 25th, right?
For Superman,
next
Superman.
year?
Oh, sorry, 2025. So this is 2024 that this is coming out. Okay,
they
sorry.
said that with the whole like superhero fatigue and like the stuff going on in Marvel right now, that they're really trying to space things out. So I think this is the only Marvel movie we're getting, an MCU movie this year, besides like a couple TV shows. Like Echo counted as one, and then the one with what's her name, Agatha, the witch.
Yeah, Agatha Hart. I can't remember the name. They've changed that name of that show. I think it's called like the Darkhold Diaries now, or something like that. That's coming out too, which I could give a thundering fuck about. I swear to God. It's like Madam Web. I was like, "Are you serious? You're making a Madam Web movie?
Yeah,
it's just ridiculously dumb." I read somewhere today that like the fans are telling them no more Spider-Verse by Sony. For the love of God, stop it!
Yes,
you're just destroying everything. They're after seeing the trailer for Craven, I was like, "Oh, please!"
Oh yeah, radioactive. Lion
or something.
Yeah,
biting crazy.
And then I saw the first part of so I saw all of Venom, and which was okay. It was not
It's unintentionally hilarious.
Yeah, it's kind of just one of those like almost like a mystery science theater, it's funny.
And then I saw just the very first like 5-10 minutes of Carnage. I couldn't do it, man. I stopped I was like, I'm a Spider-Man fan. I'm like your core audience. I can't even get through this. This cringed me out too hard, and I just gave up on it.
Was that Venom 2?
Yeah, Venom 2, Carnage,
Carnage or something.
Try that one.
And then I watched all of Morbius for kind of like the lulls,
Yeah.
And it was
Morbid time.
weird. Like the dance scene with that one guy, the Doctor Who guy. I was like,
that's
so weird. It's so weird. But I kind of wish they would stop too. I really wish that they would just go, "Hey, here's the deal, Marvel." And to be honest, Marvel doesn't even really have the chops to do this. Some other studio, for the love of God, who knows how to make movies about comic books, please come in, take the core job here, and then just divvy out the money afterwards. Because I don't think that anybody can do this right on Marvel side or Sony side. So yeah. Anyways, so we talked about how we know the new villain is Cassandra Nova, the evil. She's the twin sister, right?
She's the twin. She is the
Yeah.
twin sister of. It's very weird.
He has a she has a step brother. I'm sorry.
Yes,
He has a step brother.
Kane Marco, who's Juggernaut.
Kane Marco.
Yeah.
And then he has a evil. It's like a lot of evil in his family. I mean,
Yeah.
they weren't birthing it; they were freaking adopting it. It's
Yeah.
kind of a weird thing here. So I don't know. Leaked, quote unquote, leaked.
Mhm.
That this was going to happen, but I mean, sure, I'll go along with it. Let's see what happens. I'm just glad like I said, I'm glad it wasn't Dr. Doom. I really want them to do Dr. Doom right. I don't want them to put him in the Deadpool movie and be like, hey, here's Dr. Doom.
Yeah, he doesn't even
really-
introduce there.
I really want them to cast the right Hispanic actor to be Dr. Doom. Can they do that, please?
I want a real was it Latvarian actor?
Ooh, Latin. You mean Latinveria?
Latinveria.
Just what all of
Wait.
the Fantastic Four needs to be
Were-
Mexican. That's
were
just
they-
what I-
Were they in Latveria in Age of Ultron?
No, that was Sokovia.
no.
So yeah,
That was
that's right.
Sokovia.
That's right.
That was the other made up country. There's Sokovia, there's
Yeah.
Madripoor, and there's Latveria.
Madripoor's real.
Madripoor's not real.
Is
I'm
it?
kidding. I'm
I
kidding.
don't
I'm
know.
kidding.
Madripoor's made up. But I got the first issue of Madripoor Nights
I do too.
the other day. I haven't read it yet, but I got it.
I had that one back in the day.
Madripoor Nights. I just do that because of Bodz.
Nights.
But anyway, speaking of Latveria and Dr. Doom and who his counterpart is, Fantastic Four's cast is revealed. Yay! And it sucks my fucking ass.
I'm just glad Pedro Pascal.
I'm
finally
okay
gets to be
with this
something.
side ish right here in this area. Like if I could zoom in. Why can't I zoom in? There you go. Right here, I'm okay with this. Right here, I'm just not in. To a degree, this lady's okay. She's a blonde lady number 4 or whatever. But fuck this guy. Seriously, I hate him so much. I don't want him anywhere near this character, and I'm so bummed out that they picked him. The only thing they can do to put the cherry on this shit sundae that they're making right here is to have where they make Silver Surfer a female, and I'll write this movie off.
Yeah. And you would have like some nerds saying, well, there was a female Silver Surfer. Like, yeah,
Well, no,
who cares?
that was like wasn't that like a different timeline? I thought they were talking about Frankie Nova or whatever the hell her name was.
Well, that's
I
the
thought
thing.
that's
It's
who
like,
they were talking about.
I'm like, you know what? There's been decades.
There's been
worth
like
of comic
20
books.
heralds of Galactus.
I'm sure since like the 60s and like the million comics have come out with, yeah, there's probably has been a female Silver Surfer. You think that's the version like that people are like wanting, that's like the overwhelming fandom. They're like, oh, we really want that one obscure character. Like, no, forget about it. It would be very similar to the Flash movie with the Supergirl they had. It's like, oh, but there was a dark-haired Supergirl. I'm like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
But you really think that's the one we want? Honestly.
You think that's what we're talking about? Yeah.
Yeah.
They also said that they're going to get the lovable robot Herbie, and I have no clue what that acronym is anymore. Don't know.
I'm not sure I ever knew, to be honest with you. But
I think I knew at one time. I don't know anymore. But
humanoid, erotic, robot.
hemorrhoid, homoerotic robot or something.
It was something like that. Also, isn't this supposed to take place in the 60s?
In like the 60s, yeah.
Which
is a good idea.
Yeah.
It's like,
but it's weird because if it does indeed take place in the main MCU, there's this famous super team that nobody talked about. It has to be a different like planet.
Yeah, this is gonna be multiverse shit. It kind of smacks of multiverse right here. I bet you money it's gonna be like this is the 60s multiverse where they're just gonna have like this is where they bring in all the classics, Doctor Doom, Fantastic Four,
or what about this? What about this? It's like when Deadpool, fixes everything in his movie. They're like, oh yeah, the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, they were the first team. They're all old and dead now.
Yeah.
So there you go, Ty. You happy? They're old and dead in this.
He'll have brought him back. He'll he'll do the juju on him where they just like they show up like, oh my god, we were dead, but now we're
alive. And the
I
technology
don't
is
know.
so
Hey,
crazy in the future.
if they could do it with the Eternals, and they can like kind of like, yeah, that they were around, they just weren't doing anything. They'll probably do it with this.
I have yet to even see the Eternals.
That's
how much
it's
I
boring.
cared about that movie.
It's actually kind of boring. Are they going to still call the negative zone? Is it just going to be the end zone? I think at one time it was called the end zone.
Hey, keep it PG here, man.
The end zone sounds like, honestly, it sounds like something you order at Pizza Hut, like the cow zone or something. But
maybe they get stuck in the negative zone, and that's where they were all this time.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know what they're doing.
I think that honestly, I think they're just gonna. This might be like the beginning of like a reboot of the whole, because they talk about this all the time. They're like, we're gonna reboot the MCU at some point because we can't pay for these actors anymore or something. I just see it as them doing like, this is it, guys. We're restarting somewhere else, or they'll just do like what's sad is they'll probably end up having it won't be a crisis. It won't be called a crisis, but it will be a crisis, where they have like 20 different worlds, and now they got to collapse them, and they got one now.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know. Anyways,
it's how it goes.
That's how it goes. And this is going to drop July 25th, 2025. And that's what I was thinking. I was like, whoa, that's kind of weird that we have all this stuff dropping in July, because Superman's dropping around the same time as this, to be honest. Superman is July. Here, hold on a second. No. Yeah, July 2025. So in
July
the same month, we'll
weekend
get.
Is what I would assume.
Yeah, we're gonna have.
So yeah, it's gonna be pretty
choices
packed
between Marvel and DC that time.
There you go. All right, let's move on to the next one. Sorry for this being a very Marvel focused. I mean, we had Superman. We started with Superman because it was Superman's birthday.
Yeah, it's his damn birthday.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a Marvel focused episode just because a lot of the news. We were going to talk about this like 3 weeks ago, but somebody had to get sick, and then some other person had to get sick. That was me, and then Bodz had to work.
I never
usually
get
sick as me.
You were too sick. You were sick right along with me. You and I were just coughing.
But I still went to work.
I did too. I just worked from home, so that's going to work. All right. X-Men trailer, X-Men 97 by Marvel Animations. Go.
Watch the series finale of X-Men next Saturday morning. Check your local listings.
I used to record every episode of this.
Oh, I loved it. But here's what the deal. This is what annoys me. We're never gonna get that Kurt Wagner Christian episode again. The one where he got Wolverine to go and pray in church. We're never gonna get that.
Yeah,
he's gonna go to he's gonna be like, oh, we must go to the Black Lives Matter rally and pray.
Protect trans kids.
Yeah, that's what it's gonna be. Ugh. Anyways.
Hey, goodbye. I am proud of you all, my X-Men.
I don't
Fate
remember
lies
this.
in our hands.
I guess I can. I don't know.
Now.
From the studio that had nothing to do with the original.
Yeah.
We have to stay vigilant. The professor entrusted us with his dream.
No matter how dark it is, we must believe in each other.
We get this done by working together as a team.
Jeez, Bub, keep buzzing in my ear.
It sounds so different.
It does not sound like him.
No,
and I've
but
heard him recently.
Does he sound does he sound normal?
Cal Dodd, but it's like
when you heard him recently.
I gotta look it up. We gotta look this up. I know, but
I guess I don't know.
Yeah, but you don't sound younger than you did. The old Wolverine sound like he ate cigarettes.
I know, that's one of the main appeals of the original series is that Wolverine sound. I'm like, holy crap, that is Wolverine.
That was my voice.
Yeah, here we go.
Listen up, Bub.
I know what you're thinking. The question is, can I get Wolverine before he turns me into shish kebab with those claws? Well, Bub, Seeing as how these claws are made of adamantium, the strongest metal known, and can slice through vanadium steel like a hot knife through butter, buddy. You gotta ask yourself, do I feel lucky? I know what you're thinking, punk.
Now, okay, so that's got to be fairly recent because this is a short.
Yeah.
So if we go back to this and like kind of rewind here, it just only slightly sounds like him.
Yeah, but you know what? That's only one line we've heard, so maybe he sounds better.
But that's what they picked for the trailer, and I'm like,
I know.
man,
Yeah.
Like, you should have picked him say something else. Like that's not really even a cool line. He should have said something. I'm the best at what I do, bub, or you know.
Yeah, something. Yeah. Okay, here's where I gotta stop it. Okay, this right here, I don't know how y'all guys feel about this. I think this is so dumb.
Well, he's gonna explode Wolverine, right?
Yeah, this is him. He may not kill him, but it's not gonna feel good for Wolverine's whole body.
I think that I saw on Twitter where they're like, they call me Stubby now, bub. They had I think it was, I don't know if it was like Marvel Animation or if it was like just Marvel proper that was asking like, hey guys, what do we call this? Because they don't have the, what was it called, the fast,
the Cannonball special.
Was it the Cannonball special or was it the Fastball special?
It was the
I can't
Fastball special.
Honestly, can't remember. But anyways, they were asking, and people were calling it like the only one that I heard that was, and I was like, we should call it stupid because that's what it is.
Yeah.
The only one that I thought was, somebody came up with one that I thought was kind of funny, but it's kind of dated. They're all snick, boom. I was like, yeah, I see what you did there. But this is dumb. If he doesn't lose one arm out of this and then grow it back, I'm gonna be
that implies Remy LeBeau, whatever his name, Gambit can isolate a part of an object that he wants to, I don't know, whatever it's called, ignite, I guess.
Charge.
What it seems like is like a case of like, and we've seen this before, was like you really don't understand their powers. Like when they, like, okay, Cyclops, when they do his optic blast, when it's burning things, is it no? It's kinetic. It's like concussive.
Concussive.
Like
it
hits you. Yeah, it's not. It's not fire.
It's like
it's not
smashes
lasers.
things. It's not hot. It's not hot.
We've seen that in movies. They
and for Scott Summers, it's like a mental thing. He closes his eyes, he doesn't burn off his eyelids, right? So it's like
yeah.
Well, I didn't think it was mental. I just think that his skin is impervious to it. Is what I gathered.
Yeah,
and then
I figured it's like a mental.
But where it was, because I know that it's like Superman's power where he has to be in the sun because if there was one time I think it was actually in the cartoon where he was underground for so long that he actually lost his ability to use his optic blast. So I don't know I don't know, that could have been something they made up for the show, but I remember that.
To me, my X-Men.
Well, Cyclops still sounds like Cyclops.
Yeah,
and
but I don't think it is him. I think that actor died.
It's
what?
Really?
That sounds like. I mean, that's a pretty good impression.
Yeah.
Last will and test.
I do dig how they're dressed like.
Oh God! I was like, what the hell's going on here? She's pregnant. I was like, what is happening?
Of Charles Xavier. Everything he built now belongs to me.
Oh no!
Is there any more to this? I forgot. No, there's nothing more to this.
When did the original series ended? What, 95, 6?
I guess 96.
Well, I would say 97, right?
97, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because how much time is supposed to pass?
I don't think much.
I think it's supposed to be like right at the butt end of the series.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think so.
I don't know. All I know is the funniest bit that came out of this that people were talking about, like overwhelmingly. Well, there was a couple things, but the one thing that was the funniest thing was like, man, like that meme of like never forget what they took from us, and it's like the picture of Rogue's ass is gone. He's got like negative ass now. It's so bad. It's like,
so
forget what they took from us, man.
It's kind of like you got to really think about the artists who used to do it back in the day. It's probably like some Korean like sweatshop where they're just cranking out stuff and like, Draw.
Well, no, that's the thing. I think it's harder to draw a nice ass than it is to draw like what is her name? That chick that was played Captain Marvel.
Brie
Brie
Larson,
Larson's ass. I think that they just got Brie Larson to model that character because it seems like every woman on here has been defeminized a bit, except for obviously they made Jean Grey pregnant. That's about as feminine as she's gonna get in this.
Yeah. I think every artist is probably like me when it comes to drawing women, where I'm so like, I don't want to make them look stupid, and I just end up not giving them many features whatsoever because I'm just so not confident in my abilities to draw like a female. Like
I'm the complete opposite, man. I'm like, this is. I just go back to whenever I was a teenager for a bit and go like, oh yeah, this is what I used to do. And you just draw the big boobs and big butt.
You got to draw them all like what was that? Like the Gen X. Who was that? Was that
Gen 13?
Oh,
Gen 13.
Scott Campbell.
Yeah, Jason Scott
where
Campbell.
It's just like this is kind of.
I don't think it's Jason Bodz. I think it's Jeffrey. I think his first name is Jeffrey, if I'm not mistaken.
He just went by J. Scott.
Campbell, yeah, he just went by J. Scott. I think it's J.
I guess
Jeffrey
I never
Scott
knew.
Campbell.
Never knew his first name.
I always thought it was Jason too, but I think recently somebody said it was Jeffrey.
Didn't he die?
No, he's alive.
Oh, okay. It was someone.
Michael Turner died. Michael Turner died.
I remember him.
That's who it was.
Yeah,
he did.
Everyone has died.
He did Witchblade, right?
Yeah, he did Witchblade, and then he ended up doing. He did. I don't know how much Darkness he did, but he did his own book called Aspen, I believe.
It sounds so familiar. Yeah.
And then he had like, if I remember right, he was like a big time. He was like a surfer on the side, or he did some sort of sport, and he had like an injury in his knee. He was like, God, this is really painful. And so he went to the doctor and he found out he had like a really, really aggressive cancer there. And so I believe that at some point he had his, I'm just remembering from like a long time ago, that he had his, I believe his knee amputated his leg amputated at the knee. And I don't think it could save his life. And he eventually
He's drawing me.
Yeah. No, you can't like let it go, can you? You can't just let somebody.
Never.
I was gonna start this, and I was gonna go. I was gonna say, rest in peace, Carl Weathers. Rest in peace. Who is it? The Lewis guy. I can't remember his first name.
No, Richard Lewis.
Richard Lewis. I was gonna say that, but you know why I didn't? Because fucking No H is on this show.
Yeah.
I knew that if I said anything, it was gonna go there. Oh my God, No H. I know the body's been cold for like a long time, but holy shit, man. You have no shame.
I like Richard Lewis, though. But,
yeah.
I wouldn't have said anything about him.
And I like
comedians are sacred, but you've been dead for a while.
Some
lay into you. Jeez.
But
okay, well, sorry to the family of Michael Turner. For the love of God. I think he was like an only child. You want to say something to his mom? God almighty.
I mean, if she were here.
All right. Well, speaking of somebody who's not dead and that we can say something nice about, Jeremy Renner is going to return back to the MCU as Hawkeye after his recovery from a snowplow accident. This guy is a fucking rock star, dude. Oh, wait.
I mean, literally, he is a rock star.
Yeah.
He saved a nephew, if I remember right, from being run over, and he got run over himself. I might have just hit the brakes. I don't know the whole story. I thought he was in the snowplow at the time, but I think it might have been somebody else. But I'm just happy he's okay, because man, you get run over by one of these things, good luck.
They're tons and tons. Like
broken bones, it says, left him with 30 broken bones.
Jeez.
I'm wondering how many of those were like his ribs and his like sternum.
Yeah, because they said it went over like half of them.
Oh God, dude.
God.
Yeah. But God bless him. I hope he does well. Returns to Hawkeye, and he's probably just going to be like. And he's going to be like a kind of like a in the chair kind of character now.
Mentor kind of character, probably Kate Bishop or something.
Kate Bishop, yeah.
But you know what? He deserves to take it easy.
Yeah.
And like he either doesn't have as much money as we think he does, and those hospital bills are no joke, and he needs, or I would assume he's doing quite well and doesn't have to worry about that.
He had that divorce that was pretty acrimonious.
That's
from what I remember.
right. He did.
His wife did like she was kind of pretty nasty about it from what I remember. Said stuff about like him owning like firearms and stuff to get him in trouble, or I don't remember the whole details of that. So I don't. He could have lost half his wealth in that.
Yeah.
Especially if he was living in like California, he could have just got fleeced pretty hard in there. So
yeah,
God bless him if he has to go to work because he has to like recover some of his fortune. But anyways, I wish him all the luck. I hope he come back to the MCU and do something easy because he deserves to come back.
Yeah.
Yep.
But anyways, and moving on to more MCU news, we no, that's not it. You know what? We're skipping that. The release date, I don't even remember when it was. I think it's July of 2025 as well, if I remember right. We're gonna skip over that. We're gonna go right to the thing I'm sure Bod's gonna have some very strong opinions about this.
I like it.
The Crow gets some reboot first look, and here's get yourself a big eyeful of this. Eric Draven, Bill Skarsgård? Is that his name?
Bill Skarsgård. Yeah, and
Bill Skarsgård.
I like Bill Skarsgård, so it's not him. It's just the design,
You know what really got me? The thing that got me like really like not liking this is the guy's face with the eye nipple. That really like
that's so weird.
Yeah,
it's just not. Yeah,
it this has just like the Jared Leto Joker vibes all over it. It's like that's not a good look. And then I when I first saw it, I had that picture in my head, and I couldn't figure out who it was, and then Noach dropped the picture. It was the Die Artwood or
Die Antwoord or whoever. The South African rap.
Yeah,
I don't know what they are.
I was like, that's the haircut he has. That's the look he has. It's like I don't know what shirt.
Oh, somebody sounds like a robot.
It's not me.
Robo Juggalo.
I'm not Cylon.
I swear.
Robo Juggalo.
So
here we go. Isn't this Antwood guy? Wasn't he in the movie Chappie too?
Actually, I think you
Chappie
might be
or District
right.
9, one of these.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Well, she's kind of got Eric Draven's haircut more than this guy's because
he is supposed to be Eric Draven, right? That's
what I understood.
That's what I'm understanding. Yes.
If he was just the latest new Crow, that'd be like okay, it looks stupid, but at least he's just what
another
this Crow looks
thing.
like, then fine, I guess. But don't try.
Oh yeah, here it says right here. It says 2 further images of upcoming reboot teases Eric and Shelley's dark romance.
Don't call him Eric Draven. You can call him anything else. Just like ugh.
You know what's funny about this? I just realized John Wick has 2 connections to the Crow, because John Wick fought him in the last movie, and he fought Mark Dacascos in the 3rd movie, who was the Crow from The Crow Stairway to Heaven.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second. He's the last John Wick movie. He fought Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, he was the main bad guy.
Oh fuck, dude, that's how bad that movie was. I don't even remember.
No, it was fine. I mean, he was there just for the end. He really didn't do much fighting.
Of all of the John Wicks, that was just like that had some. That movie felt like, to me at least, when I was watching, I was like, this just feels like they had a bunch of ideas, and they said, okay, we want to fight in a Japanese like stronghold. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. It'd be really awesome if they use swords and shit. And then like, you know what else would be cool is if they fought in like a long stairwell and it's just like one continuous shot. He's like, yeah, that sounds awesome. Kind of reminds me of the Joker. Let's put that in there too. And then they just slapped that shit together and like kind of made a story out of it. That's what it felt like when I was watching John Wick 4.
What I liked about it was I liked the scene with like the dragon fire shotgun where it was all above. And I like where he saved the dog. It kind of like the dog redemption save.
I can understand you liking parts. That you get what I'm saying, though, right? Like overall, it was a terrible story. I'm not saying that there weren't cool parts of the movie. I'm just saying that it almost wasn't a coherent thought when you were watching it. You were like, this seems like Uncharted 3 to me, or 4, where they just were like, you know what, let's just pick. Like I said, it's like a smorgasbord of shit that they're like, yeah, that looks good today. That looks good today. Put it all into a sandwich. It's like going to that. Where was that Mongolian place?
Genghis
we
Grill.
used to go. Genghis Grill. You can go into that place and make an abortion, and you have to eat it because you fucking picked all that shit out and you paid for it, and it's your fault. They can't. You can go back and go, this tastes like shit. They're all, well, you picked all this shit to put in there, and that's what I felt like with John Wick 4. Is that I was watching it going like, yeah, somebody went to Mongolian Grill and made this piece of shit. And there's parts of it that are good, like individual pieces of it that are really good. But when you put them all together, it's hot garbage. And that's why I didn't like that movie.
I didn't see it, but the fourth one, that is. I didn't see Parabellum anyway. And I agree with Bodz. I'm like, you either use a subtitle or don't. Don't have like the one with the subtitle.
That was the only one that didn't have it.
And like,
the like telling you who people were and all that shit.
It was like John Wick 2, John Wick Parabellum, John Wick 4, like
John Wick Chapter 2, John Wick Chapter 3.
In the title,
John Wick Chapter 4, yeah. And that one thing I was like, Parabellum, like he mentions it once because it means
war,
ready for war or something.
No,
and then what did the movie
Parabellum
have
just
to do
means
with
war,
mushrooms anyway?
But what they said throughout the movie, they should have called it
joke.
They should have called it excommunicado because they said that throughout the movie. John Wick is excommunicado.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but from what I saw of like the second one, I think, it's like these the people who make these movies, they're mainly in it for like the stunts and the action sequences. Yeah. So I believe it if you have people who are just around, like, it'd be cool if this happened, and which, yes, that is visually, it does look cool, but you risk going into, this is coming from a person who didn't even see the movie, but anyway, I think you risk going
you're gonna get shit on so bad in the comments. It's gonna be so bad.
Yeah, I think you risk going into if this is your goal, it's fine. You can risk going into Fast and Furious territory, where Fast and Furious is great for that, but they kind of know that that's what they are. At least they came to terms with it, and it made them really fun to watch. If you get kind of like almost silly after a while, because like the Fast and Furious movies, it's all just Vin Diesel saying like, "Hey, wouldn't it be cool if we did this? Okay, let's do it." And it's kind of, that's fine because it's Fast and Furious. That's what we want from them. It's like, is John Wick that? I don't know.
Yeah, probably a little bit, because like in the beginning, it's kind of realistic. And then towards the end, he's like falling off roofs and stuff and surviving. So,
well, but I'm just saying for John Wick to have been for 4 to be a better movie, I felt like you usually, when you write a story, to me, it's like, I did this because this happened. I went here because it's like this led to this because of this, because of this. If you cannot answer the question of why you were at this place, then it's like, wow, you just put that in there because you thought it looked cool. And that's the problem I had with the last John Wick movie. I was struggling with like, why is he at this place? Why is he at this place? Like the whole time. And maybe it was because the story was just so simple that I'm not supposed to think of it like that. But that was the main problem I had with that. I was like, what the hell is going on? Why are we here? Why are we there?
That one felt the most disconnected because that was the only one that wasn't immediately right after the next movie. Like 1 happens and then 2 is like almost the next day. 3 is like almost the next day. This one, like some time has passed and time passes in the movie and stuff. So it felt a little off on that aspect. So,
but anyways, getting back to the topic we're supposed to be talking about here, the Crow reboot. I will have to watch it. I'm not. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. I think that they should have let Brandon Lee retain the Eric Draven title alone and just leave it there. It's the same thing I said with Roadhouse that we talked about last time. They should have let Patrick Swayze keep the character of Dalton, and then this be like a whole new character. Stop rebooting shit. Just move forward, because I'm looking at this and I'm going, I don't like this because you're saying this is Eric Draven. Stop it.
Right. And at this point, we've already, for better or for worse, we have accepted other crows. I don't know why this can't just be another crow, but that's not as appealing to studios and the average moviegoer. Just like, oh, it's another sequel. Oh, it's a reboot. That makes it kind of appear different when it's kind of not. But I do feel Bodz' pain, though. You see this thing, a new version of like this, thing that you grew up loving, and it looks like utter garbage. Like to me, the Superman logo isn't quite that, but it's sort of. It's not.
I just hate anytime your tattoos make your torso look like a Chipotle bag. It just looks stupid. Stop doing so many flipping tattoos.
Well, I'm not the only one that hates it, because the original director, Alex Proyas, he posted on Instagram today that he got to make fun of it, like something nice haircut, I'll pass, or he threw a bunch of shade at it. So,
and as much as I do like Henry Cavill, I'm preparing for the worst when it comes to Highlander, when he's supposed to be like Connor. I'm like, please don't be stupid, because like the actor here, like I've seen him, I like him, he's fine, know. But it's like, and like I'm so used to Highlander burning me as a fan. Yeah, it's like, especially Highlander the Source, which Les said the
well, if it's any good, then if it's any good, it's gonna be off brand, and you're not gonna like it. You're like, this is the trash I'm used to.
Yeah. I'm ready to be hurt again.
There's just like how many like reboots are actually good though? Like RoboCop? No, good. Yuck. Doesn't need it. Yuck. Didn't need it.
I can't think of a reboot that I've seen lately that, or even like in the recent past that I've seen.
The only things that I can think of is like, maybe you think about like John Carpenter's The Thing. I mean, that was a reboot of an old Thing movie, but it was made in the 80s.
Yeah,
so a lot of
you are
didn't
correct.
know that.
You are correct. Yes.
And that version itself was technically a remake. So
And the same thing with Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That wasn't a reboot, it was a remake. But I think I haven't seen the original, so I can't make a judgment call of whether it was better or not, but that's the one I've seen and I really like it. But I'm sure
it is better.
I'm sure there are people, but
that's a good question, because I know there's been good reboots, but it's sort of like, and you got to think it's not like a continuation, because
I don't think there really has been a really good reboot. I know there's been really good remakes. Like if you watch the Tom Savini Night of the Living Dead versus the original Night of the Living Dead, it's pretty good. It's a good remake. If you watch Dawn of the Dead versus the original Dawn of the Dead, it's a pretty good remake. But reboots, like where they just like completely.
Okay. What about Buffy? Would you consider that a reboot, the TV show, compared to?
Yes, that is a reboot. That's technically a reboot.
That is actually a reboot, not like a continuation, but a reboot, because the story plays out as if a generalized version of the events of the movie.
Yeah. Which you can read the comic book of, which shows you what happened. But apparently it's from like Joss Whedon's original script. I remember having that comic book, but we won't get too much in Joss Whedon because that's hostile territory.
He's gotten into too many other people. We need to leave him alone. All right, let's move on to the next topic. Okay, Beetlejuice, the poster, the title have been revealed, and I have to say, being a connoisseur of graphics, this is probably one of the finest posters I have ever seen.
I like it a lot.
Ever. From the title to the way they reveal the date, that's a chef's kiss right there. this
so
graphic
clever.
designer needs a raise, whoever he is.
Because it's not, and granted, you could say it's a teaser poster, but whatever. It's so clever, and I'm sure the Giant Heads poster will come. But
yeah,
it's so.
Well, guys,
good.
I got some news for you. This is fan made. I made this.
Oh, no.
There's not even a Beetlejuice 2. There's not even a Beetlejuice 2. It doesn't exist. I've been pranking you all this whole time.
It's not Beetlejuice 2, Bodz. Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice, yep.
Now, I think the official title is, of course, is Beetlejuice, but there is that AD something there, and that's a little confusing. I believe that is an homage to some, there was a Dracula AD 1970 or whatever. So
it's after death.
Yeah, and so I'm like, that's just saying it's just the new one, right? Or is that the official full title? I'm a little confused by that. So I'm like,
well,
let's
see what it says here. It says Warner Brothers has released the first, so it is official. The first poster for Beetlejuice 2. They're saying Beetlejuice here. This is the sequel, 1988 original titled Beetlejuice 2024 AD. And the poster features the September 6th, 2024 release date. Is anything else here? The official synopsis has yet to be released. The film reunites Michael Keaton as the titular character with the original cast of Winona Ryder, who returns as Lydia Dietz, and Catherine O'Hara as Delia Dietz. New to the cast includes oh god, I still have a problem with this. I know that she's like the it girl now, but stop it.
That's why you hate her.
Are they gonna? So she's Astrid Dietz. So of course she's gonna be. Monica Bellucci's gonna be Beetlejuice's wife.
Wow.
Whoa.
Good job, Beetlejuice.
Well, good job, Beetlejuice. Yeah. William Dafoe is Justin Theroux. And just sorry, God, I read it. So it said William Dafoe and Justin Theroux.
Can do
William Dafoe is playing Justin Theroux.
Willem Dafoe's range is just crazy.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
And then Tim Burton returns to direct. This is
cool.
I don't know. I heard recently that they're not gonna rely on any CG effects. It's all gonna be practical. So that gives me a lot of.
It's all gonna be claymation.
Yes. Yeah, the stop motion photography. So, but I gotta say, of all the things that came of this, I was like, yay, Beetlejuice 2. But I gotta say, this is I gotta say,
that's a masterpiece.
That is just fucking no. That is.
Awesome. I just picture Ty seeing that Christian Bale in American Psycho and the water print on the business card.
He even has a water print.
And he's like, oh god, that's good. That's really good.
I can appreciate good graphics. This is like a graphic designer's this is the pinnacle of your talent right here. When you come up with something like this,
this is what if you go to design school, they want you to think of clever things like this. They want you to think of less is more, and there's so much space on the poster, which is just a thing of beauty. You know what I mean?
It's got depth. It's got
I could have
contrast.
It had a different tagline to it, something about saying the name.
Well, it said down here, it says dare you to say the name.
Dare you to say the name. Okay, maybe I just saw
it says dare you to say it again.
Okay, that's where I saw it. Never mind.
So, this would get you sucked off at design school. I'm telling you.
Actually, in design school, nothing like that happens. It's just you sit at a computer.
Anyways, let's move on to the next topic. It's kind of I don't know. Is this bittersweet? I think it's more sweet than bitter. Rob Liefeld has announced that after 33 years, he's quitting the comic book industry. He says, I'm retiring from Deadpool. It's official. He does say here, I'm retiring from Deadpool. It's official. Yep. After 33 years of not only introducing Deadpool, but chronicling many of his most popular adventures, it's time for the Deadpool daddy to say farewell. No. So is he just saying that he's retiring from the Deadpool comic and he's moving on to other things?
Well, I know I know one thing he's moving into. He's making action figures now. I guess he's trying to do. He's doing a McFarlane thing. So, yep.
Is he really?
If you look
this
it
sounds
up,
this sounds like Bodz is making this up.
No. He's starting to make some of his I think his his image characters. But he's made action figures of them. Like there's prototypes. So I think he's venturing off into that.
Do the action figures not have feet, or do you have to buy them separately?
They have very small feet. Lots of pouches, but actually, the figures look like they do have lots of pouches and like crazy amounts of weapons that go on their back. But
on all the weapons, just tubes and rectangles.
They were just they look like just tubes and rectangles.
Basic shapes a kindergartner learns, basically.
But I think he's trying to pull a McFarlane and get into the toy business. But look it up. Google it sometimes. If you don't believe me, fine.
No, I believe you. Just, but you're like the boy that cried wolf though when it comes to this kind of shit. You'll tell shit to me, and I'll go, "What? Really? I was a gullible little shit when I was young."
Yeah,
Bob would tell me shit, and I would like go, "Oh yeah," and I'd start telling everybody, "Oh, that's not true," and then go to Bodz, and he's like, "Yeah, I know, I was lying to you."
I was lying to you. Rob Liefeld didn't come to my house to use the bathroom, but his sister did.
So I guess we bid you adieu, Rob Liefeld. I don't know what to say. You came up with some great characters: Cable, Domino, Strife. Yeah. I mean, that's some good shit. I mean, Deadpool is a complete ripoff of Deathstroke, the Terminator.
Well, it's like an homage.
Yeah, that's a pretty hard homage. Wade Wilson.
Yeah.
He didn't go very far.
Oh, and now Marvel. I'm sorry, DC has gone back, and they have a character called Red Tool, and his name is this is completely real. It's a Harley Quinn character, and his name is Red Tool, and his name is close to Wade Wilson too. I forgot what it was, but. It's something I learned about recently.
That's amazing.
The lies start to come forth, and you can't stop them. All right, let's move on to the next thing because we're kind of running out of time here. Rippaverse, they announced The Horseman by Chuck Dixon and Joe Bennett. They just got off working on Alpha Core. Now they're producing a comic together, and it's a street level hero for the Rippaverse. Hell of the Iron Age. Let's go ahead and play the audio here.
Is a street level crime fighting character, guy without any superpowers, self-made man. And so Joe and I together created the Horseman, and we presented the idea to Eric, and thank God he liked it. So we're creating a one-shot presenting the Horseman, just super action, the way only Joe Bennett can deliver it, and it's going to be a lot of fun, I promise.
And there he is. I have issues. I like the idea of a street level hero.
It's a whole comic series.
Yeah. I like the idea of them doing a street level hero. I love that because it's like I want a Nightwing, I want a Daredevil, I want a Spider-Man. I want that shit. I love it. It's my favorite kind of hero. But I think they needed to call it The Horseman instead of Horseman, because people were just like they were taking the piss out of this whenever it came out. They were like Horseman, and I don't know. I'm down for it. I'm willing to give it a shot, but I would have probably not called him Horseman.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
I would have said The Horseman because it comes
the
off
Horseman adds a little bit more gravitas to it. And
BoJack Horseman.
I know.
Yeah, and that's the other problem. That's the other problem.
Voiced by Will Arnett. He had a TV show in the 90s.
I actually think he looks cool. I mean, he kind of looks like a cross between Batman.
Yeah, there's a better shot of him on
Azrael.
Eric July's. Let me see if I can find it right quick. Eric July. He's got a better shot of him on his page. That's actually drawn by Joe Bennett rather than. I think that other guy is like he has him occasionally come in and do covers for him, and I don't know the name of the artist, but let's see if I can find it. Of course,
it's not clearly not that important to him.
John Horseman.
John Horseman.
Detective John Horseman's tired of the streets running rampant.
Horseman. Okay, let's see if I can find this right quick. Are they going to show it to me right off the bat? Hell no, they're not. Images. There's like a black and white. Talk amongst yourself. Sorry, I will find it real quick.
All right, we will talk about.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is.
No, well, I guess you won't learn that secret.
The world may never know. I just lost him though. Where the hell is he? Right there. Okay, so this is kind of a crummy-ish. I have a better picture on my desktop of him. Here we share. And this is the art by Joe Bennett. So it's the actual artist that's going to be on the book, and I'm getting like kind of like a Nightwing meets I can't remember the name of the guy that used to run Blackgate. I can't remember his name.
Guardian?
No, it was Lockup was his name, I believe.
Yeah.
I believe that's Lockup
think
was
you're-
the
I think
name. I
you're
don't
right,
remember.
yeah.
I'm not a huge DC guy here, so I'm not gonna say that I know the name of it. But that's what I get. That's the vibe I get off this character. So I don't see any other pictures of him here, but I mean, more power to them to come up with a street level hero to kind of even out their mix. Because right now it all seems like kind of like. Well, if I'm honest, Isom is kind of a street level hero. He's just got superpowers. Maybe this guy doesn't, and that's what they're gonna. Well, that's what's gonna be their focus here is that he doesn't have powers. But I don't know.
He was bitten by a radioactive horse. I know that much.
That's
from what I've
all. We know nothing else. Yeah.
Anyways,
Is his real name Ed? Is it Mr. Ed?
Mr. Ed.
That's Dr. Ed to you.
I wish I could find a better picture. There was one he had on his page that, God, it's hilarious. That he had, but I'm not gonna keep looking for this. Anywho, let me go.
No, I think the audience has time. Go ahead. They're not going anywhere.
Let's not fuck
No,
around
it's
here.
just gone crazy from sleep deprivation. I'm legally insane now.
Oh yeah, I accidentally stopped sharing. Okay, which one is it? Let's just move on to the next topic, which is Ultimate Spider-Man number 2, 2024 edition. I guess that's how we're calling it these days. Where the hell is it? Sorry. Well, let's just do this one. Okay, here. Okay, so Ultimate Spider-Man number 2. So last we left Spider-Man, he was on the top of a building, and he had just gotten bitten by the spider, and he was about to get down to some business. In this book, they go right into it. Okay, so Spider-Man now, he's got his suit. He's out doing his deeds, staying up late at night. Being Spider-Man.
Mhm.
And the cool thing is like this in this issue, he actually meets up with the Shocker. We knew that from the last time that we talked about the preview that they showed, and it's a kind of a funny interaction he has with the Shocker. So I'm not gonna spoil it because it is kind of funny what happens between him. But in this book, there's some cool stuff in here. It's not as the last book kind of had like more like beats that were like, wow, that's crazy, This one was more just like we're getting. I really wish that what they would have done was taken the last issue and just kind of like made an oversized issue where like you had let's say 82 pages or whatever versus instead of just like the standard. I think most comics are like 32. They do have a little bit in here where like Jonah and Ben get into how like this like the beginning, like the ground floor of like them starting their new news organization, and how they're kind of like in here at least they kind of have this like disdain for where the Bugle where they used to work, where they're saying, well, we know that they're not going to be putting out any news, and the news that they are putting out, which is about Spider-Man, because they do talk in this one about the attempts made on Kingpin's life. There's been 3 attempts made by the Green Goblin on Kingpin's life, and they say that they're floating the Daily Bugle is floating the Spider-Man stuff because it's like a distraction, because you got to remember in this universe there's like this shadow government that owns everything, and their Kingpin is one of kind of like, I guess, the viceroys underneath a king who I don't know why they call him the Kingpin. They should call him like something lower because he's not really the Kingpin in this. But they're just using this as a distraction. But we get to see Spider-Man do some cool stuff. His suit in this is pretty cool. That's one of the things that's kind of new, and I'm kind of curious what they're going to do with it, because he wears a like all blacked out suit in this one with just the white eyes, and he it almost has like Venom like qualities in this book. He can kind of just like whisk away part of the mask, and it kind of like opens up so they could eat something or whatever. And there's one point where he actually he comes into his house, and his daughter catches him kind of like Santa Claus style, where he's like, oh shit, and then he like quickly, because she's scared of Spider-Man. She talks about early in the issue how she's like afraid of the spider guy. She wonders why he's even on the news, because he really upsets her. And he kind of when she sees him, she starts crying, and he kind of just quickly like whisks the mask away, and it kind of turns into like almost, I don't know if it's more like, how Venom was kind of liquidy. This was more like powder or something. And it kind of makes me wonder if this suit was given to him, if this is Iron Lad tech. So I'm not sure. They haven't really said anything.
They haven't talked about it yet.
They haven't really talked about it yet. I do think that's a cool idea. But he even talks to her, and he kind of gets an idea. Like, yeah, this isn't good for the kids. I'm probably going to. So I think the next issue, where they show him here on the cover where he's dressed in the classic Spider-Man outfit. But I think in the next issue is where we're going to actually see him do that, because in here he was still wearing the black suit. But he gets a couple of run-ins with Shocker. We get a little bit of a tease of the Green Goblin here and there. But overall, this, I would say, if anybody, I'd say go ahead and read this, because I mean, hell, these books are like crazy flying off the shelves right now. So if you're going to get a copy, and hang on to it, because these things are kind of, as soon as I bought the two that I had, I looked online, they were like, the one I bought for like cover was already like $8 or whatever. If you wanted to buy it, it's just crazy. So I would say, like, if you want it for like a collecting standpoint, I'd say go ahead and get it. If you're skipping it, you're probably not missing a whole lot. It was kind of cool to see like first appearance of Shocker, first appearance of like a real good shot of Green Goblin. I can't really remember if he showed up in the last one. And also it's like kind of like the first real look we get at the black suit. But to be honest, not a whole lot happens in this. You just kind of learn more about, how the Kingpin is set up in this world, how Spider-Man is doing after having taken the bite from the spider this time. So I'll give this one I would say I'd give it like a 7. I can't go as low as a 6, but I'd give like a 7 for good artwork. It's just a continuation of last. This is why I have a big problem with floppies, is that it's such a bite-sized part of the story that I can't go, it's an amazing thing. Like the first one was cool just because of all the reveals and shit like that. Where you felt
the first one's worth a lot because you see Spider-Man's dong. Yeah. So that's another reason it's so expensive.
That's why it's just wildly floppy.
See, Bodz, that right there. If you would have said you see his floppy, that would have got a rim shot. That would have got a rim shot.
It would have got a shot of some kind. That's for the Marvel Black Label Spider-Man Dam, who they show.
Yeah,
and the web, where the web fluid.
Well, that's how they did show him peeing. His suit came open and he peed from the little hole. But other than that, there's not a whole lot other that happens in this issue, other than like I said, he has two encounters with the villain known as Shocker, and he does kind of show, like in the very beginning of the book, that he does his wife is, which I thought was weird, because in the first book I got the impression that she was a stay-at-home mom, but in this one she's like going off to a meeting where he's coming out in the morning, I guess, having been Spider-Man all night, to take care of the kids. And I was just like, are you hedging on that? Because that was kind of I kind of liked the idea of him being like, this is the traditional family Spider-Man, but I guess the Marvel just can't quite, commit. So, but like I said, I'd give like a 7, and I give a 5 for like, I give it like a 2 if you're just a comic, and I give a 5 if you're a mostly competent comic, and then I give a couple more for art and stuff. But like I said, not a whole lot happens in this. But if you want to have the whole series, I say go ahead and pick it up. If not, you're probably already too late, to be honest, because these things are flying off the shelf.
Yeah.
So Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man #2, go ahead and check it out, and it should be out on Marvel Digital pretty soon, as far as I know. All right, let's move on to the next topic, which we'll just end on this one right here. This is kind of cool. Bodz, you're probably gonna love this. There's a game coming out called Terminator Survivors, and it's a survival game that's set in the days following Judgment Day. So hold on one second. Sorry, I have a dog now, and I don't want her to pee in my room, so I had to open the door. Anyways, it is set in the days following Judgment Day, and it looks pretty cool. So we're just gonna go ahead and look at the trailer.
5 long years.
The song is not cool, however. We'll turn it up a little bit so you can hear the song.
We had to run from Judgment Day and its killing sun. Now it's time to be back in the light. The world of Skynet will have to fight, but then new life one day we'll see, and everywhere our name will be Survivors.
The song is almost there.
Survivors.
Once I heard Skynet, I'm like, I can't take this song seriously.
Yeah, it's like
You say Skynet.
Yeah,
I'm sure everything is cool, but that song is like.
I heard that when I was watching it, and I was like, it kind of reminded me. It kind of reminded me if you've ever seen, is it basketball or is it?
Yeah, and he's heard the song, and it's like, you just missed your turn, like that.
Yes,
that's what it reminded me of when I was listening to it.
It's get Trey Parker to sing the Terminator song.
Yeah,
that's what we need.
Well,
I know.
Man.
What makes him? If I was gonna play a Terminator game, I would want it to be like in the future where it's always dark and you're having to run around and fight hunter killers.
And there is a game like that. There is a game like that. It's called Terminator Resistance, and it's like really cheap right now. If you're looking at it on Steam.
Speaking of Terminator, I saw it randomly online. Something I forgot about, but the other, I don't know if they were technically T-800s, but there was other like bodybuilder guys as Terminators apparently instead of just Arnold.
Yeah,
it's like Lou Ferrigno and
what I'm
Jesse the Body Ventura.
I'm like, am I misremembering that? But is this like
in the first Terminator movie, the first skin job he saw, whenever he's telling the story about like how the first ones had like plastic rubber skin or something like that.
Yeah.
And then there's this guy that walks in to their because they had dogs.
So the dog goes crazy.
The dog starts going crazy, and this big guy whoops off his like I don't know if it was a blanket or whatever. Then he pulls out like this laser minigun and he starts like tearing people apart.
Yeah.
And this is whenever I believe it was Jason, or is it Jay? What's his first name? His last name Beam. Kyle Reese. Michael Beam. There you go. Kyle Reese is telling the story, and that's the one he tells her about the first time, or sorry, the skin jobs or whatever that started showing up. The ones with actuals.
He could be an unreliable narrator. This is how Kyle Reese remembers it, but I'm pretty. But
he was that guy was a big guy too. The one they showed in that scene, he was like Arnold big. So
and there were so funny to think about. There, I guess, in the lore or whatever, the mythos, that there's other bodybuilder guys at one time.
Well, think about it though. Could you have like would Arnold just be walking around like several Arnolds, and you go, I don't know who this guy is, but I trust him.
Yeah.
You would obviously. There, no, it's back. You'd obviously have to have other ones. I would think you'd want it to look like, like Opie's brother. What the hell is that guy?
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about?
Clint
He's in
Howard.
everything. Clint Howard.
Clint
I think you'd
Howard,
want
yeah.
the Terminator to look like Clint Howard and just be kind of like,
Well,
kind of bumbling guy. Like, hey
Yeah,
guys, I'm Clint
unassuming.
Howard. I'm in every little movie part that you've ever seen. That way he could kill you. Like, go ahead.
Well, the idea was that these huge endoskeletons had to be covered up in something, and they we
Yeah.
made the robots first, and we're gonna make the skin
They're gonna-
second.
They're gonna have to be big guys. It's kind of the opposite of like Arnold Schwarzenegger being RoboCop. You're like, you're too big for this. But in this case,
Yeah.
you're like, our endoskeletons are too big. We need a big person.
Yeah,
We could just
look like-
make
I don't know.
smaller endoskeletons. Like,
I
we
swear
can't
though,
suggest.
if you're look like this underneath your skin, your muscles would look all wonky. Like they could look at you and you're like, you'd have like these big cylinders underneath your deltoids and
Yeah.
shit, and you're like, I don't know, you look
Do you
like
have
a
some type
Terminator.
do you have some type of like bone disorder or something?
No,
Like
I do
muscular
not.
disease.
No,
It's not a tumor.
I swear.
Not a tumor.
Yeah, yeah.
But don't you remember? Was it 3 where like the guy that they were modeling the T-800 on was Arnold Schwarzenegger? Remember he had like a different voice and stuff.
That was Terminator Salvation, technically the 4th one, where he had whoever like the doctor guy was had like the Arnold voice, and that was like that was one of the many times where it's like, yes, Terminator has humor in it, but now we're just being slapstick.
Yeah, now we're just
getting
being
kind of
stupid.
stupid.
So it's like I don't remember this. So you're saying it was like just like a normal scientist guy that was like,
That
hi,
had
I'm
Arnold's
from
voice.
California.
I'm from
Yeah.
California.
And then the guy who they based it off of looked like Arnold, but he had like a southern accent or something like that.
It was like in Terminator.
I always
3
figured
Rise
that
of
it
the
was a
Machines,
robot accent that
which
the
makes
Terminator
so much
had.
more sense than like some weird Austrian offshoot accent. That's what you.
Well, that's
sound like, right?
that's the robot accent that he had. Is Austrian. Very easily to get those mixed up. Robots all sound Austrian.
Yeah, everybody knows that, John. Come on. You're looking really stupid on the show right now.
But it was like in part 3 where he puts on the sunglasses. They're like Elton John type sunglasses or something. And it's like ridiculous. And like, I'm like, okay, so we're just not taking this seriously anymore. Okay, good to know.
Yeah. I think I think you were with us when we went to go see Terminator 3. Like we went to like some friend's house, and
Oh God, Terminator 3.
and we just weren't even paying attention that much to it. That's how interested we were in
Yeah.
Terminator 3. Yeah.
I to this day I want to have. I still wish we had I kind of want to. If I could have Arnold Schwarzenegger, if I can meet him and do the thing where like, can you record like my voicemail message? And I want him. I would love it if he was like, you've contacted the rise of the answering machines. Leave me a number and I'll call you back. Like, why?
That will be $30.
$30. Nobody bought my book. It's free on Spotify.
Well,
It's been a year, so
it's been a year. It's been it's been a year. I actually looked into getting us something like that, but if you go to my wife found this site where you can just find like actors to do stuff, and I really wanted
the
to find
cameo type of deal.
Yeah, I really wanted to find somebody to say like, subscribe or whatever. But
what low
the only one
guy?
The only one that I found that I was like, it'd be funny. It would be truly funny. Was Ricky Berwick. Ricky, I don't know if y'all know who Ricky Berwick. Y'all know who he is?
No.
Oh, okay, I gotta show you Ricky Berwick. This kid is hilarious.
Ricky.
Okay, here we go.
Stanicky.
Let's see. This is Ricky. Let's share this tab. I gotta find one.
Okay, I know who that is now. Okay.
Oh yeah. I've seen it.
Not this cheesy? No, I cheesy.
So I thought about getting Ricky Berwick to do our thing because he I don't remember how much his was. It wasn't that expensive, but I thought it would be awesome if Ricky did it. They had some other low level actors in there. I just couldn't. none of them I was like, this really speaks to like the stuff we're doing. Ricky's at least funny.
You know, you could it would be kind of funny if somebody had like nothing to do with anything that we talk about, like some guy in like Chicago Fire or something. Hey, it's been a year. Congrats.
They had that the have you seen the one that got in trouble? It was he plays Jesus. No. It's like a guy. He's known as like Internet Jesus, and he for a while he was on Fiverr just doing like messages and stuff. And I think he got in trouble for saying something about like Hitler doing nothing wrong or something like that. And he totally got kicked off the platform, and now he's on Cameo. And I think he says now that like he can't do anything like that. But at first he didn't give a shit. He was doing whatever you said to it, and I think people were sending him shit like that.
It sounds like something Steve-O at least wanted to do, and so it's.
But anyways,
yeah.
Well, I one of these days we'll do it. But anyways,
and then what's cool? We'll have like in 4 years we can do our first anniversary for our leap year.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Y'all better be there. I swear to God, I'll be so pissed.
4 years. It's gonna be like Wet Hot American Summer. Y'all be here.
Make it your beeswax to be
Make it your beeswax.
But anyways, I'd like to thank you guys for coming out and talking to me about this stuff. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for a year of sticking to this. I mean, we had problems. We definitely had problems.
Many bouts of sickness.
Many bouts of sickness. That's mainly what it's been. A little bit of fatigue, a little bit of laziness, just all kind of like mixed together. But still, I think we've done pretty good here, and I really appreciate you guys sticking it out with me because I've had. I
can't believe we've been friends for a year.
1 year.
1 year.
1 year only.
The contract is up.
But anyways, for the Middle-Aged Mutants, this is Ty, Bodz, and No H signing off.